All right, so I was just in Dallas, Texas, and I worked with a player who was struggling with major pulls and major slices. Now, he knew he was over the top. He did a lot of things to fix it, and he could fake it with drills. But the real reason he had those shot issues was because of how he started his backswing. His lead arm got in a position where the lead shoulder went super internal, the hands moved in front of the body, and the club head started ripping behind him. Now, a lot of times when you see this player, you'll notice that everything starts going back inside, and then at the end, this trail elbow stands up, and they get in a lot of trouble as the elbows widen and they start pulling down. The club goes out, big across move, you see the big pull and the big slice commonly. Hey guys, if you're liking these videos, do me a big favor. Please smash that like button, hit subscribe, and leave a comment. If you tell me something that you're struggling with in your golf swing, I'll address it in one of these future videos. Thanks you guys for the support. All right, so the first thing we have to understand is how the arms are hanging at address, right? When I set up to the golf ball, I want to feel as though my arms are hanging directly down from my shoulders. I never want anything too far in, and I definitely don't want to feel like I'm reaching for a golf ball. Those reachers get themselves in a lot of trouble. They have balance issues, and they can have a lot of ugly shots. So everything is just hanging down from the shoulders. Now, from here, I'm going to get a little bit of bend in both my arms to get me out to the golf ball. I'm not just dead straight. Everything is hanging low. Now, if you look at me, my right elbow is slightly out for a right-handed player compared to my lead elbow, which is a little bit closer to my body. But here is a big setup cue that can help a lot of players with their backswing. When you set up, feel as though your right forearm is facing the sky. Rotate your wrist to get you into this position at address. Now, this is going to put you in a position where you're more inclined to let the right elbow fold properly versus the player who gets in here, gets that elbow out, starts going back, really pulls everything, and goes up to the top and gets crossed up with that wide elbow look that no one wants. So understanding how the lead arm works is very critical. So as we were talking about, the player from Dallas, he got into a position where the hands moved away from the golf ball, the elbow went out, and the lead shoulder went internal, which is this movement right here, okay? That is a move that I see lead to that big elbow split constantly. So what we want to feel with the lead arm is that it is moving more across our chest as we turn back. A checkpoint I really like is to get the club more on toe line at P2 in the backswing. But if the hands are working a little bit more inside and the club head's coming in and this lead arm staying connected versus moving way away from the body, I'm okay with everything, with the hands getting a little bit more in the initial part of the backswing. So once the lead hands start moving in, we start talking about hand depth, okay? So when we get back to P2, which is club parallel, I want my players somewhere around the toes, okay? If you keep everything tight and then start moving everything up, if you're a little bit more in, that's okay. But at P2, we're looking for the hands to get to at least toe line going back. From P2 to P3, which is lead arm parallel in the backswing, we're looking for those lead hands to get into a position where they are more in the middle of the feet. That's setting us up where everything is starting to move towards a position of more depth. Now, from P3 to P4, we go here, we want to feel the final piece of the crank is going to get the hands closer to heel line, right? That's going to put me in a position where my lead arm is more across shoulder plane, I'm getting a lot of depth, and I'm setting myself up to let my hands work more out to the golf ball in the downswing, okay? That's one of the critical factors that players who get the club falling behind them succeed at. Their hands need that outward movement versus getting super vertical where they pull everything down. Okay, so understanding the top of the backswing is really important. Now, if we look at what my trail arm is doing, we never want to be in that position where we get that wide split. Okay, that leads in most cases to a pretty aggressively vertical downswing and that big cut across movement. So if we're going back and we're sectioning everything where we get this elbow more in, That is critical. Now, another thing you see my players do is they push their arm away, okay? They don't get into a position where they're pulling the trail arm and the trail elbow behind them. They feel like everything's pushed away as they get to the top, and they get those hands near heel line. Okay, so making sure the trail arm is working effectively can have a major influence on how well you set yourself up for a good solid downswing. But the setup cue that's important with that, if we get that forearm more pointed at the sky and get this rolled over, it's going to be more inclined to stay in a position where that elbow is more down as I'm working back. If I get everything out, that's a lot of the reason that you see players really start pulling everything in the backswing. All right, guys, so understanding the arm structure is super important. When we set up, remember, we want to be in a position where our arms are just hanging from our shoulders. We get a little bit of bend. When we set up, the trail arm is slightly in front of the lead arm. Look at the elbows when you're seeing that. Get this forearm pointed up to the sky with the wrist rotating over. That's going to put us in a good position as we go back to keep that trail elbow in and get a lot of turn. Now when we get to P2, we're looking for that club to be close to toe line. P3, we're going to get the hand in the middle of the feet, and at the top of the backswing, we're looking to get the hands close to heel line. I hope this video helps you play better golf, and we'll see you next week. Hey guys, if you like this video, please like and comment. I come out with new content every Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday. Thanks a lot, you guys.